Today, we are answering a frustrating question. Why do you hit a ceiling in your spiritual walk? Welcome back to Spirit and Truth Daily. Why does the flow of blessings seem to dry up overnight? You are growing fast, and then suddenly nothing. The money stabilized. The ministry stopped growing. The revelation dried up. You are praying for more, but God seems to have turned off the tap. Here is the state of the union. Psychologists tell us that the average person stops learning new skills by age 35. We settle into a routine. We stop stretching. We calcify. We think the problem is the supply, that God has run out of blessings for us. But the problem is actually the container. You cannot put a gallon of water into a pint-sized glass. Today, we are decoding the law of capacity. We are going to prove that God never stops pouring. We just stop receiving. The limit is never the heaven above you. It is the vessel within you. Let's debunk a massive myth right now. The myth is, God is in control of how much I receive. That sounds humble, but it is actually lazy theology. It shifts the responsibility entirely to God. The truth is found in 2 Kings chapter 4. A widow is in debt. She cries out to Elisha. Elisha doesn't give her money. He gives her a strategy. He asks, "What do you have in the house?" She says, "Nothing, but a jar of oil." Elisha tells her to go borrow empty vessels from her neighbors. He says, "Do not gather just a few." This was the test. He told her to shut the door and pour the oil into the vessels. As she poured, the oil multiplied. It kept flowing as long as she had an empty jar to put it in. But then, verse 6 happens. It is the saddest verse in the story. She said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to her, "There is not another vessel." So the oil ceased. Notice, the oil didn't run out. The vessels ran out. The supernatural supply was suspended the exact moment, and natural capacity was exhausted. The miracle was limited by her preparation, not God's power. This is the law of capacity. The flow of God always fills the space you prepare for it. If you prepare a thimble, He fills a thimble. If you prepare a warehouse, He fills a warehouse. God is efficient. He does not pour oil on the floor. If He poured more blessing into your life right now, it would just spill and go to waste because you don't have the structure to hold it. We need to look at the 3 capacity killers. These are the reasons your vessels are full, broken, or missing, causing God to pause the pour. Killer 1 is the I know spirit, pride. You can't fill a cup that is already full. When you think you know everything about your industry or your theology, you cap your capacity. The most dangerous phrase in the kingdom is, "I already know that." The moment you say that, you stop learning. And the moment you stop learning, you stop leading. Humility creates a vacuum that God rushes to fill. If you want a fresh anointing, you have to empty your cup. You have to admit, "Lord, I don't know what I'm doing in this new season." That confession attracts the oil. Killer 2 is the small circle, isolation. Elisha told the widow to borrow vessels from your neighbors. She had to go outside her house. She had to use her relationships to expand her capacity. Some of you are limited to your own experience. You are trying to build $1 million dream with a $100 network. You haven't borrowed the wisdom, vessels, of people further ahead of you. Your capacity is not just what holds you. It is who holds you. If you don't have mentors, you don't have borrowed vessels. You are limited to your own tiny jar. You need to expand your circle to expand your flow. Killer 3 is the old wineskin structure. Jesus said you cannot put new wine into old wineskins, or they will burst. The old skin is rigid. It can't stretch. You are praying for new wine, new growth, but you are running your life with old skins, old habits. You have a chaotic schedule. You have no budget. You have no discipline. If God gave you the $1 million you are praying for, it would destroy you because you lack the financial structure to manage it. He loves you too much to give you wine that bursts your life. I want to pause right here. We need to do a prophetic check. I want you to identify which vessel issue is stopping your flow. Be honest with yourself. Is your vessel too full, pride busy? Is your vessel too small, isolation no mentors? Or is your vessel too rigid, old habits disorganized? I want you to type one word in the comments: full, small, or rigid. Don't hide it. Diagnosing the crack in the vessel is how we fix the leak. Okay, I see those comments. The rigid ones, you need systems. You need a schedule. You need order. God is a God of order. He doesn't pour into chaos. Now, let's talk about the solution. How do you increase capacity? You have to stretch. Stretching hurts. It means taking on challenges that are bigger than your current ability. You have to say yes to things that scare you. When you accept a responsibility that is too heavy for you, your spiritual muscles tear and rebuild stronger. That is how you build a bigger vessel. Look at David. He didn't start with Goliath. He started with a bear and a lion. He stretched his capacity in private so he could carry the weight of the crown in public. If you are bored right now, you are in danger. Boredom means you have mastered your current level. And if you have mastered it, you have capped it. You need to find a bigger room. God is waiting for you to say, "Bring me another vessel." He is waiting for you to start that new course. He is waiting for you to hire that coach. He is waiting for you to clean out the garage. Preparation is the highest form of faith. When you build a nursery before you are pregnant, you are shouting at God, "I trust you to fill this room." The widow had to gather the vessels before the oil started flowing. You want the oil first, and you'll buy the vessels. God says, "No, buy the vessels, and I'll send the oil." So here is the next step for you tonight. I want you to do capacity audit. Look at the 3 main areas of your life: finances, relationships, and spirit. Where is the clutter? What do you need to throw away to make space? You cannot receive the new while you are hoarding the old. I want you to identify one empty vessel you can borrow this week. That means finding a book, a podcast, or a person that contains wisdom you do not have. Go to them. Borrow their capacity. Read the book. Ask the questions. Place their big vessel next to your small jar. And finally, change your prayer. Stop praying, "Lord, give me more." Start praying, "Lord, make me bigger. Stretch me, widen me, deepen me. Even if it hurts, expand my capacity so I don't waste your grace." That is the prayer of a giant killer. The oil is ready. The supply is unlimited. The faucet is on. The only question is, how many vessels did you bring? Don't be like the widow's son who said, "There is not another vessel." Make sure you always have one more empty jar ready for the overflow. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. If you feel the pressure, that is good. That is the feeling of being stretched. Share this with someone who has plateaued. Tell them it's time to go borrow some jars. Next time, We are going to discuss the law of transfer. Why do you become what you behold? We will look at Jacob's spotted sheep and the science of spiritual optics. Until then, empty your cup, borrow some vessels. Prepare for the poor. This is Spirit and Truth Daily. God bless you. Expand